I know, I get it, it's another screen review. With how fast new ones of these are coming out, I kind of thought y'all be getting sick of these. But people keep asking about them, people keep buying them, and the companies making them keep improving them. And they keep ending up in my mailbox, so when I think one is good enough improvement over the previous one, I show it to you. One of the biggest brands I feature here on my channel, Tyler, sent me out this latest screen, and there's a reason why I'm excited about this one, and it's something that you guys have been asking for, so here's what it is. It's a screen that has a huge speedometer on it. Finally. Now, while you guys are watching me install this, let me tell you why I think this specific screen has high potential and why I think a lot of people are gonna add this to their Teslas. Okay, so first of all, like I said, huge, large speed display. But second of all, it's very low profile, the most low profile screen we've seen yet. It has just a 3mm bezel. It's very, very thin. It has 2.5D glass, which just means that the edges of the glass are slightly curved. And what that does is it gives it a bit of a smooth finish as it transitions from the glass to the plastic around the edge of it. It gets over-the-air wireless updates, so it's super easy to update. Using the OEM features of the car, you get blind spot warnings, you get CarPlay, and you get Android Audio. And there's 3 ways you can control the screen. One through the touchscreen itself, one through your phone, and through the steering wheel. Now this fits the 2017 through the 2023 Model 3. This fits the 2020 through 2023 Model Y, as well as the Model 3 Highland. Now as far as it fitting any of the 2024 models, I'm not sure if it just wasn't updated on the website, but I'll leave a comment down below once I get that information. Now the other good thing about the pricing of these is that they've come down a lot. When I first started reviewing these things years ago and installing them, they were like $600–700. But this guy is $359.99. But if you use my code CfTesla, you can get $93 off of that price, which puts you well into the 200s. Now, as you can see, the installation is very simple, just plug and play. Now, I'm installing this in a 2023 Model Y, which has the AMD processor. So it's very simple, just plugging it in at the passenger's foot area and then running it along the dash. Okay, so real quick on the installation you just saw, the only part of this that's even remotely tricky that kind of stops people from doing this kind of stuff on their own is the wiring. But if you're on an AMD model, especially Model Y, it's very, very simple, and here's why. All you've got is 2 different connections. You have your OBD port, which is what this is gonna plug into right here. If yours is not this color, you may find your OBD port is way up in there. But basically you're gonna plug this into the port, and then this is extra, so if you wanna plug in another accessory, but nothing's gonna go into this one right here. So for example, if you had something else plugged in there like I did, you would just simply take this, replug that into there, and then you would still have an open port, even for another accessory, which is kind of nice. So you can have multiple accessories with this kit. And then this right here is just your power. So if you look down into there, you can see the OBD port we're gonna plug into, that blue one up there. And then you can see right here is a 12-volt power. So all I have to do is take this male end and plug it into the other blue female end. That snaps in. Again, this is now available for a new accessory. And then I'm gonna unplug the 12-volt right here, power, unplug that, plug it into the female end that comes in the wiring harness, and then plug this into where the car's original power was plugged into, right down here. From there, you just take the wire and run it up underneath the dash, or we'll mount it over there, and then I'm gonna put all these panels back on. A couple other tips for the install as well. When you're looking at doing your placement up here, if you put the dash actually up where you're supposed to go, and then you just sort of stick the wires dead center of your steering wheel, and then you just mount this on both sides of it, you should get it right pretty much every time. Use the wires as kind of like a guide. Once you have it right, hold the wires, flip it upside down, and use the mounting bracket to tighten it on. And about 15 minutes later, here it is. And first impressions, well, I will have to say it's nothing like any screen I've ever installed before. First of all, it's super skinny, very low profile. You have barely any edges. As I said, 3mm bevels on the edges here. That is just absolutely tiny. And from a driver's perspective up here, you're not seeing it at all. I mean, it fits so well between your steering wheel, unlike the bigger screens where the top part of the screen is always cut off unless you kind of move your head around like this to see everything. This is always front and center. And this is exactly what I've been asking for forever. Thank you, finally, for making this. Now in the following section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually test out some of the things that make these screens sort of go downhill really fast, such as airflow. Is it totally blocking airflow? This is connected into the vent. It does have an opening on the bottom, but does it actually make a difference, especially heading into the summer like this? as well as how simple is it to connect to a device like our phones. So now comes the air test, and of course I had to go and raid my daughter's little pom-poms, but it's time to see how much of the air this is actually blocking. So first I'll start about right here and slowly come down, and you can see it is blowing. Yes, I have tested screens where right here there is nothing, and it's on right now. Let's see, what fan setting? Fan level 6, so that actually isn't all that high. Let's take it back a little further, about to where my face would be, okay, in this vicinity right here, and you can see little tiny bit of air coming through. And if I go beside it even, there's not a whole lot coming anywhere across from here. So that's about the same all the way through. In fact, might even be a little bit more because the air is a little bit more condensed into a smaller little slit rather than the thicker one. So it might even be a little more, but I can definitely feel it on my face. Let's crank it up. So this is now a level 10, and you can see plenty of air is getting through that screen all along through the steering wheel here. So I can definitely say my two biggest issues are solved with this screen. One, plenty of airflow. Two, connectivity. First of all, the Bluetooth connected, no problem. Second of all, you don't even need Bluetooth because you have the direct connection, which worked almost instantaneous. Okay, so I went and got the settings all set up and got familiar with this thing, so you didn't have to watch me actually learn it. But let me tell you something right now. Of all the screens I have ever installed, which I've lost count at this point, this by far is the best UI I have ever used. Let me give you a quick tour around this thing. First of all, once it's connected to your car and you actually turn your car on, put your foot on the brake, type in your password, whatever, it automatically upgraded or changed to match exactly what the screen had for miles per hour, for battery percentage, all of that. In the past, I've had to go in and manually change that. Now also, there's not a bunch of funky stuff all over the screen when you touch it. It's so clean. So for example, if I want to increase the volume up or down, I just slide this over here on this side and it increases it up or down. If I want to control the brightness, I can do that over here by sliding that, but right now it's set to manual, which means that it's going to be the same as whatever my car is set to. So if I slide it over here up and down, it's going to do the same thing over here with this screen, all the way bright and dimmed. So huge miles per hour sign. I got miles until charge as well as battery percentage. I have my drive gear over here, my seatbelt sign over on this side. We got the time and the temperature. Now watch what happens over here. If I slide over like this, that is all the controls you get, and that is fantastic. So I've already got it connected to CarPlay, which by the way, did not take a password, and it was super fast to set up. Watch this. If I slide over like that, I click on settings, we get some really easy interface to deal with. We got language, time format, AHD, we got steering wheel control on or off. That's if you want to use your scroll wheels down here to control that. I don't like having that. I don't like messing with that. I like to keep it with whatever the default is for the car. You got tire pressure, whether you want bar or PSI. You got your time zone. And then look at this. You just got a nice little display over here of things to change. We got display. You can change the color of your car, temperature, whether you want Celsius or Fahrenheit, rainbow road if you like that kind of thing, appearance set to auto, same with brightness auto, which we just went over. And then see this giant back sign over here? Nice and simple, not a little stupid tiny arrow that you have to try to touch 100 times. All nice big there. And then when you click over here on wireless, you got it CarPlay or Android Auto. For audio mode, you got the HUD or you got the phone. And then if you want to connect it and you haven't done that yet, all you have to do is come right down here, click setup, and it's going to jump on your Wi-Fi or connect to your phone. And you can just kind of turn that on there and connect it directly to your Wi-Fi. And when that's connected to your Wi-Fi like that, and there's all my Wi-Fi signals coming through, then what you can do is go down here into software, click check now, and that's how you get your software update. So fast, so simple, absolutely love it. Now watch this. If I slide over like this and I click on this arrow here, like the location finder, it's going to pop right on there to CarPlay. And so just like that, I got all my CarPlay controls over here, and the screen is incredibly responsive. Just a light little touch there, and you can see it's moving it. It's no problem to move it around. And for the first time on here that I've ever seen, you even get 3D controls here. So you can actually do 3D. What you can't do is you can't zoom in with two-finger touch. That isn't on there, but you can tap the zoom in, and it's very responsive to zoom in and see it that way. Then to get back, you just tap this over here like you're used to with any kind of CarPlay, and you can even have things on here like Waze. If I come over here to Waze, we got Waze on there, and they made it so easy to get back to your standard dashboard. Again, if you swipe over on this right hand side, just click on the dashboard button, just like that, you're back up to where you started. And of course, you can finally just take it and power it off if you don't want anything on at all. Tap on the screen to turn it back on again. Now remember how I said it is a wired display? Check this out, and I love this feature. There is a USB-C port back here, and when you take it and you plug your USB-C to Lightning in, or of course USB-C to USB-C if you have Android, check this out. plug it in and it starts to charge. And when I come up here and slide over and tap on my CarPlay, there it is. Everything's good to go. All right, now I put the camera about exactly where my eyesight is, which also means that I'm looking directly at a camera and can barely see anything else. Now, all I can tell you is within the first few minutes of me driving with this screen, it's everything I wanted and more. I absolutely love the simplicity, the low profile of this screen, and the giant miles per hour odometer up there, which also has a speed limit, which is fantastic. So you got your car animation in there. You've also got the big speedometer. So now the question is functionality. How does this work with something like autopilot? So let's get over the speed bump here and then we'll see if it recognizes us being in autopilot. Now this car does not have full self-drive. Oh, there we go. We got the rainbow road and we got the big blue steering wheel on there. That is sick. Oh, that's really, really great. Some of these screens don't do anything when you're in autopilot. And well, this is auto steer on this car only. Some of them have an issue when you're in full self-drive. It doesn't display something, but it does when you're in auto steer. I don't have full self-drive in this car, like I said, so I can't test that on this one. The free subscription left. Whoop. You see that car just swerved over there. So it gets the caution on it as well, which is great to see. So it's got everything we could possibly need on there. Hit the brake, takes that away. Yes. Very, very good. And watch what happens when I come to a stop right here. As you can see, I slow down. When I come to a complete stop and goes into hold, it pulls out an animation and then tells me what my PSI is in all 4 of my tires. How cool is that without having to tap anything? Swipe over, location. And for this, let's go on to Waze. Now I'm riding in a neighborhood near my house and we're gonna give this a shot here. I mean, it's just so easy. I mean, I don't very often get excited about these screens. If you've seen the last few of them, it's like, just another screen, all kind of the same, but this one is actually cool. And I try to be careful when I'm given products, not to get too much of my opinion in there because, you know, if you have to pay for something, obviously you're gonna scrutinize something a lot more than if it's given to you. And with the amount of these screens that are coming out nowadays, they're just coming out like crazy. You know, you would never buy them for review. They're just too many of them. You blow through so much money. And so I try to leave my opinion out of this, but I am going to tell you right now that of all the screens, and I know I shouldn't do this, but this is my favorite screen. This is by far my favorite screen, the absolute best one that I have had yet. For the UI, so easy to interact with. The screen is incredibly, easy to use. It's very responsive. The bevels on it look really good. It's very low profile. I can see the entire thing very easily. And I don't have to like move my head around to get the full screen in my view, even though I don't have a yoke steering wheel. And that's a big problem, is a lot of these are made for the yoke wheel where you have a full view of it. And the ability to have over-the-air updates with the wired connection as an option. The whole thing just works. Now, in case you're curious what comes in the box, here's what you got. So inside of the box, you actually get a very decent dashboard display user manual, which is something that we have not seen, at least with any kind of quality in previous models. It also says you can use a wired connection if you don't want to connect your Bluetooth to it, which is something that a lot of them do have as an issue, where it'll just connect to your screen randomly and take your audio away when you're inside the house. So we'll take a look at that as well. Next, the screen comes, and I could already tell in the packaging that it is very small compared to the screens I've installed in the past. You have the 3 wire connectors found on a lot of these dashes, and one of these I believe goes to the front camera, as there is that option. And then you have your wiring harness. As far as other tools go, they do give you a plastic pry bar for taking off your panels, as well as the mounting bracket to mount it to your dash cover. And there you guys go. So that's gonna pretty much wrap up this video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this one. I think a lot of people are gonna pick up this one. In a way, I kind of feel like it's the one people have been waiting for. Super easy to install, low profile, very, very interactive. I just think a lot of people are gonna get this one, especially for under 300 bucks if you use my discount code. So that's gonna wrap this up. If you guys have any questions for me, leave them down below in the comments, and I'll try to get to them within the next 2 to 3 years. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.